Rise from your grave.
Welcome to your doom.
This is Lena Dunham decides that she's going to interview Amy Schumer.
Okay.
So this is just an interview. Just a run-of-the-mill Lena Dunham, celebrity writer, comedian, comedy writer, deciding that I'm going to just sit down on Skype and interview my friend Amy Schumer.
Okay.
They're friends, I assume.
I guess so.
Do you think that's Lena Dunham is actually just the weight that Amy Schumer lost?
It's very possible, but Lena Dunham may be the weight that Amy Schumer put on.
Oh.
Like, I think if she rids herself of Lena Dunham, she'll probably lose like 200 pounds.
Probably.
It's possible. I wouldn't put it past either of them. I think Lena Dunham might be a tumor.
That's what, yeah, you know, like she was attached to Amy Schumer, and then Amy Schumer snapped her off.
Allegedly.
I don't want to say anything mean, but she's quite. I don't know if she's so much a tumor as just like a fatty lump.
Yeah, it might be benign.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure she's cancerous.
She's a lump.
Pretty sure she's cancerous.
She is a lump in more ways than one.
I have from sources that she's cancerous.
Well, I don't know. I just know there's a rumor going around that she may, in fact, be a cancerous tumor that has come to life and become sentient.
Yes.
Right. But there's no. It's just rumor. Just Hollywood rumor. Nothing more than that. If you want to spread that around, just know that it's rumor.
Yes.
You can spread it as much as you want, but just know that it is just at this point just a rumor.
Yes.
Right. Hashtag unsubstantiated. All right, so I was wondering if it might be because I can go into what the interview was, or we could do what we like to call a dramatic reenactment of the Amy Schumer Lena Dunham interview.
That's better.
That's always fun.
That's better.
And maybe if I need to interject anything particularly shocking, because there are many things in this interview that are particularly shocking, I can just interject.
Yes.
In that. But
how do you want to do this?
well, I have them printed out.
Oh!
But here's the thing: the only part of this that got like the reason why it was in the news, reason why it was spread all over, was just because of the part where she mentions Odell Beckham Jr. at the Met Gala.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, that was the only part of it that the news ran with, because they were running with the nutbag idea that Lena Dunham was somehow like making like racist like insinuations about. It's like Lena Dunham is not a racist person. Probably there's no like, but the fact that they went with. The fact that they went with this one story as the description of the entire interview is very bizarre to me, considering the rest of the interview is much more entertaining.
Yeah, well, but does it involve other people?
It's just her and Schumer.
No, it's just her and Schumer.
No, like because that part of the interview involved a third person.
They talk about Kurt Metzger, who we talked about on the show.
Okay,
Who uses Alex's Photoshop of him as his profile
picture. Yeah. So I will be Lena Dunham.
You want to be Lena?
Or do you want to be Lena?
That doesn't matter to me.
Okay. I'll be Lena Dunham and you can be Amy Schumer.
All right, just do a really good job.
do it good, faggot.
Just
do a really good job.
Do a really good job. Thumbs up.
All right, we got to have some intro music here. Hold on. What do we have?
Maybe, yeah.
I compose for you. As we chatted, I was so happy to be on Skype with Amy that at times this ceased to be an interview. I just gazed happily at her as she enjoyed several varieties of soup in a raccoon-printed sweatshirt. Good thing she doesn't need a journalist in order to drop the knowledge. First of all, Lena Dunham is my age. She should not be saying drop the knowledge, and she should not be gazing longingly during an interview. Yeah. She's not Larry King having a stroke.
Yeah.
No. Hey, whoa. Man's a national treasure. Pump the brakes on.
He is a treasure.
So that was her introduction. This is Lena Dunham begins. Wait, I'm trying to video you, but I can't.
Oh, I can see you.
The idea that you can see me and I can't see you is bone-chilling, but also kind of fun. So you did Howard Stern yesterday?
Yeah, it was great, but he referred to my tattoo as a tramp stamp, which I always take offense to because those are like the little small ones.
And yours is big and serious. When I got my first tramp stamp, which my dad came with me to get, he said very innocently, did you know that one of my students says that it's called a tramp stamp because it's the place where after you have sex from behind, men ejaculate on it? He seemed upset and perplexed. I was like, I so appreciate your loving, caring, consistent presence in my life. Please never talk to me again.
Dad, please. Let's take a step back in this relationship.
First of all, whose dad says that to them?
Someone who lets their daughter go to Oberlin.
And finger pop their sister.
Yeah. Her dad didn't say that. None of that happened. I doubt any of that happened.
She remembers it verbatim, so he must have said it.
That's when you know it didn't happen.
Continuing. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to interview you about your book, which is right here, which is perfect. One of my favorite chapters is the one about hustle, like how you can't knock your hustle. I'm starting to wonder more and more. I feel like this is something that you can speak to about the relentless sense of hustle. Like I'm going to work so hard, I'm going to die. Do you think hustle, fear that you'll never work again or never make your mark, comes from a place of deep anxiety or deep damage?
Well, I think it's different for everybody. I think your and my hustles are very similar. We have the need to create and contribute, and they're not about the spoils.
You and I were literally sitting across from each other at the Met Ball, and it was like crazy countdown to when we could escape. You were like, we're honored to be here. We're honored to be here.
I left so early. When did you leave?
I attempted to grind my ass on Michael B. Jordan for an additional 20 minutes and then left right after you. That's not right after you. That's you being a creep.
Yeah,
and
that's
leaving
real
later,
creepy.
And then leaving later on in the evening.
Do you remember the Chris Farley character on SNL when he would interview people and he'd be like, "Do you remember that time?"
This is what Lena Dunham is.
That's what that is. It's like, "Oh, remember that movie that you did where you did that?" And then they would be like, "Yeah, I remember." And then it'd be a full second of silence. He'd be, "That was awesome."
And it's not even a conversational I like when an interview goes into it's not just question answer. It's like a conversational piece where they talk about shared experiences and stuff.
More like a Conan interview.
This is just Lena Dunham talking about herself.
Yes.
And Amy Schumer is given the opportunity to say something once in a while.
Yeah, to comment on it.
Right. Continuing. I was sitting next to Odell Beckham Jr. and it was so amazing because it was like he looked at me and he determined that I was not the shape of a woman by his standards. He was like, "It's a marshmallow. That's a child. That's a dog." I mean, it wasn't mean. He just seemed confused. The vibe was very much like, "Do I want to fuck it? Is it wearing yep, it's wearing a tuxedo. I'm going to go back to my cell phone." It was like we were forced to be together. And he literally was scrolling Instagram rather than having to look at a woman in a bow tie. I was like, this should be called the Metropolitan Museum of Getting Rejected by Athletes.
You were dressed like a boy and you looked sexy. And I really appreciated you showing me your tits several times.
Yucks!
So was she trying to bang Odell Beckham Jr.?
No, she's married. Or married-ish.
Is she?
Yeah, she's with the dude from Fun.
Yeah, but he could be...
For a long time.
He could be,
What's wrong with him? Gay?
He's in the band Fun.
Wait, the lead singer from Fun?
No.
Oh.
No, but
no.
He could be her hall pass,
me.
you know?
I guess so.
But is he married?
Maybe they're into that cuck thing.
It's called a beard.
In the cuck holding.
Yuck.
Is he married and he was just trying to ignore her I don't need this white bitch to say I had sex with her?
He probably didn't know who she was and just assumed that she was some rich weirdo that he has to be around.
That's probably, you're probably right.
Oh, you're talking about Odell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably just hanging out.
He has his own life. He doesn't follow, he probably just didn't know. He's just like, oh, there's one of these fucking weirdos I gotta be around at these dinners.
Yeah, but these athletes aren't like they're rounded up to go out to these like galas and events and stuff, and they're sat with people that they don't know and don't want to talk to. They just want to talk to their friends just like anybody else would. And so it's like, this is boring. I'm going to scroll through Instagram and
he's like
whatever.
he's a young dude too. Like he doesn't fucking know who half these people are. He doesn't give a shit.
So now how?
Like,
But he just sees someone who looks like a young Martin Scorsese, just sitting
that was a good one. Good one.
sitting next to him. Like, I don't know what this thing is.
No, he's probably weirded out and just was just like, I'm just gonna chill here on my phone. I'm here.
What's even more chilling is the way she describes herself. Like, she's not like, she didn't talk to Odell Beckham Jr. He didn't give her any kind of impression like this. She just described like what she feels other people see when they look at her.
Yes.
Which is an inhuman marshmallow thing.
A dog.
Yes.
A dog marshmallow.
A dog.
A dog mellow.
Should I fuck it is
Yeah.
probably the most chilling sentence that she's ever written.
Self-loathing and blaming somebody else.
Yes. Continuing. I loved this year when you were like, I'm not fat, I'm not skinny, and why do I have to be this plus size category after a magazine called you plus size on their cover? I know it ended up being a fucking pain in the ass for you, but what I was so glad about was that you were just being like, why, when you see a woman and she has 18,000 contributions to the world, would you desire to place her in a random category you came up with?
Right. I said, I think it's unfortunate that we still live in a time and a country where normal isn't good enough. The media body shames women of healthy, normal sizes. That's why I spoke up about the plus size thing. Because plus size, unfortunately, still does have a negative connotation.
And that's why she didn't like it.
Correct.
Yeah, but she denied that in the biggest, like, not that there's anything wrong with that Seinfeld-esque kind of way. Well, because she was like they were the magazine cover was like praising plus size women for being celebrities and being in media and like ignoring the whole like media stereotype you have to be a skinny girl to succeed and whatever. And she's like, hold on a second, I'm a size 6. I'm not plus size.
Yeah, she's like, whoa, plus starts at 12. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's nuts. This is nuts stuff. People always ask, how do you feel about the fact that everything you say gets taken out of context? How do you feel about the fact that you can't speak out without outcry? I've retreated in some ways on Twitter. There's things I have to do for self-preservation. The past few weeks, I didn't even want to make you talk about it because it's the fucking worst.
I'm fine to talk about it.
I don't know what she's talking about. People wanted you to speak out about something a fellow comic, Kurt Metzger, who had been a writer on your show, did. A Facebook post he made in which he was a real dick about rape and women who had been assaulted. And you were just like, cut me a fucking break, people.
First, I was like, fuck Kurt. It's been years that he's been doing this. He's one of those guys, like a lot of guys that I'm friends with who are degenerates. Kurt was saying this awful stuff, and in previous years, I'd be like, you've got to shut up. And he'd be like, all right. Then it would kind of go away. This time, it was just so bad. But also, why are these women treating him like he raped someone? He's not Bill Cosby. Kurt has never raped. What he was saying was horrific, and he was being a troll. He can be an internet troll. The fact that I had to answer for it, I was like, why this week? I was like, if there's scandals, can't they be about me?
I know. You were like, why aren't you focusing on my rape and my broken relationship with my mother? What the fuck is that? What does that mean?
Oh, man.
Wait, Amy Schumer's rape and broken relationship with her mother?
I don't know.
Or is Lena Dunham projecting again?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But she's like Amy Schumer jokingly says, why can't these scandals be about me? And Lena Dunham just goes, yeah, like when you got raped, or your broken relationship with your parents.
Lena Dunham, gay?
Isn't she married to the guy in
just
Fun?
said she's with the dude from Fun.
Oh, she needs to be shot.
She has been for a long time.
She needs to be shot before she procreates.
You got to put her down like Harambe.
Yeah. Sorry, it's for the human race.
I'm like, come on, you guys. My dad shit himself at Adventureland. I do understand that Kurt's actions would come back to me. I can see myself thinking that if I heard somebody on someone's staff was doing that, I'd be like, I wonder how they're going to handle that. I get it. And I wasn't even resentful of the connection. I was resentful at the lack of trust. Like, have I earned any goodwill with you guys? Do you believe that I feel that rape victims should be shamed on the internet? Have I built up any sort of goodwill?
The other thing that I get really crazy about is the new world in which women aren't just supposed to be protected from actions, they're supposed to be protected from language. Women are so strong. My ovary has basically exploded in my stomach twice, and I was pretty chill about it.
Oh, good. Then she can't have children. Okay.
You think I can't listen to some short comedy loser say something dumb about rape?
Right.
I'm not going to cry. I'm a fucking queen.
Yes!
I don't think anyone should be a troll on the internet, but I also get crazy about the idea of trigger warnings because a book isn't what I have a problem with. What I have a problem with is the actions in the world. I understand that art and public figures teach people how to behave, but I want to be outraged about what's truly happening because it's always happening.
Wait, hold on. Go back. Read that last thing again. That last...
I understand that art and public figures teach people how to behave, but I want to be outraged about what's truly happening.
The way I heard it was, I want to be outraged. Like she was looking for things to be outraged about. I get it.
The crazy thing here is that she's trying to say that she doesn't do this, that she doesn't like complain about things that people say that she feels are problematic, or that she is the one shoveling coal into the outrage machine. I don't understand why
she's shoveling diddled baby sisters into the fire.
Babies taste the best,
especially when they've been diddled.
Right. I don't understand why she's like talking to Amy Schumer, who because I think it's because Amy Schumer has sort of even though she gives off that kind of feminist vibe, she when it comes to comedy and art and that kind of stuff, she's kind of more chill about not saying you shouldn't be saying this. This is the problem.
She's trying to keep it real without anyone disliking her.
And Lena Dunham's like, oh, me too, same. Yeah. It's like no, you're not the same. You don't do the same thing. You've done this twice this summer, and you say every time an issue comes up, is it Chinese food is cultural appropriation? I don't know what that means.
No.
All right.
Right. I was like, can we focus on the rapist? What about the guy actually raping? How about that guy?
I want to see a movie where you're Inspector Clouseau and you're like, guys, there's a rapist, and everyone ignores you.
Right. He's right there. Everyone's like, no, we want to focus on the guy who said mean things. It's like, no, let's focus on protecting women from these situations, getting these rapists to stop the raping.
No more raping! Oh. Something that I wanted to ask you about is one of the incredibly moving things in the book, and something I know has meant a huge amount to you. The chapter you wrote about Macy Breaux and Jillian Johnson, the women who were shot and killed during a screening of your movie Trainwreck in 2015. I feel like you were galvanized by that in a specifically powerful way.
It still fucking kills me. I might cry a little bit talking about it, but it's fine.
I love you! You can cry near me!
I mean, on paper, it's like, yes, of course, yes. You connect to that. 2 women were murdered, But knowing it was my movie and that they went...
You can murder me if you want. No, she didn't.
They went and they bought tickets.
Murder my pussy like I did to my baby sister.
Oh!
I wanted to go see this movie and just crushed me. I felt so powerless, and it felt a little bit like something that I had done. Like there was a connection to me actually hurting people.
Like something that you had made that was supposed to bring people joy caused anyone any pain.
Yeah. And I just wanted to do anything and everything I could. Like I wanted to fly right there. Now thinking about it, it's like, why would they fucking want to see me right away? And it just so happens that they were 2 of the sweetest angels who had ever lived, It is never some of the toothless
didn't do nothing.
Crackhead who gets killed. So I didn't really know how to react. I was so upset. I watched the news that whole night. I was just fucking fucked up by it.
That's such a horrible thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, how... Amy Schumer, that's an awful thing to say. Like, to say that it just so happens that the 2 people who were tragically killed were good people. It's never some crackhead that gets killed. Yes, it is all of the time. Most of the time, it's some crackhead who gets killed. Why don't you care about that person?
Well, because when it's some crackhead or gangbanger, it's Black Lives Matter.
Crackheads aren't paying to see my movies.
Yeah, that's what it is too.
Yeah, that's a fucking harsh statement by Amy Schumer.
Yes, it is.
I kind of agree with it though.
Doesn't make it. You still can't say that.
No, but the news won't cover a story of a crackhead who got killed.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with that part
It's
of
not
it.
surprising.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. Anywho, any shooting fucks me up. Of course, there are some shootings I would choose to skip. Like I skipped Sandy Hook. I was like, no, not letting this in. I can't. I didn't get too deep into Orlando. I was like, I can't go down the rabbit hole because it really fucking kills me for at least a week. I am in a K-hole of misery.
Oof. That's a harsh thing to say, too.
Yeah, very selfish. And when the theater shooting happened, it was such a shock, and it shouldn't have been because it happens. But, you know, that is actually when I felt closest to Jennifer Lawrence, because that day she texted me, it's your fault. And in times like that, only jokes make you feel a little better.
Jennifer Lawrence texting "It's your fault" is like the greatest, worst thing I ever heard.
What the fuck? She just talked about how much it bothers her, and then someone it's your fault. All right, so yeah.
Well, there was like because that's sort of I guess what Amy Schumer does, and like her friends kind of do that too. Like at one point, Kurt Metzger, I think his mom died, or his dad is in the hospital, or something like that. And Amy Schumer texted him, and he's like, she's like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? And he's like, my dad's in the hospital, or my dad's just died, or something like that. And she goes, well, I'm doing fine. Just signed this $1 million deal. Yeah. And he's like, and that really cheered me up because it was like she's making a joke, and that's what we do when we feel like we can't say or do anything.
Well, that's fine, but you don't talk about how much it was hurting you at the time it happened.
Well, no, as an interviewer, when the interviewee, has this emotional thing, and it's just like, oh, that's the greatest and worst thing I've ever heard. It's like, no, there's more to that than just the last thing you heard.
Yeah, Lena Dunham just tunes out everything that she says and then picks up the last sentence.
That's what it is. It's the last sentence.
Yeah. And
maybe she's probably doing this interview with a conveyor of baby girls next to her. She diddles them, and then the next one comes up, and she can only pay attention to the last sentence.
Keep doing that. That's fun.
I am. Again, she's going to be introduced as Lena Dunham, the woman who diddled her sister.
Yeah. Why not? If that's the way you're going to introduce Josh Duggar, that's the way you should introduce Lena Dunham.
Exactly.
It's true. That's true. Back to our story. And then I got really angry, and I was like, this is not okay. I want to really do something. Chuck Schumer called, and I answered and said, I hope this is about preventing gun violence. And he said, yes. Do you want to do
that's
something?
The way you answer the phone. Hello, I hope this is about preventing gun violence.
No, we're looking for donations for the Marines. I guess that's completely the opposite of what you're talking about there. I mean, we could, we have a ball coming up. We're selling tickets to. You're a big.
As long as the children dying are brown, I'm fine.
Well, brown are the same. That's the way it works.
Yeah, same faces.
Yeah,
right.
Same face.
They can't be adorable like the two people that were shot during Amy Schumer's movie.
No, exactly.
They have to be like drug addicts.
Well, they weren't brown.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Precious white snowflakes in Amy Schumer's movie.
Yes.
Two precious white snowflakes tragically gunned down.
There was only one precious snowflake in Amy Schumer's movie, and it was John Cena. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he might have been the best part of that movie, but
he was the only good part about that movie.
And I was like, yes, let's work together. I really want to help. So then I started going to events and meetings, meeting all these families of victims. I got to the White House with my brother and my sister when Obama signed his executive order on gun control. And all these people were there, all these victims of shootings, all these people who joined this movement to try and help stop gun violence. And they come over and they're like, thank you. Because nobody listens to politicians. They listen to celebrities, so thank you. Please keep helping us. Hearing that and seeing Obama deliver that speech, like tears just shot right out of his face when he started crying about the first graders being shot. I was like, I'm a lifer, and then I am in this. I really hope I don't have to die for it, but I would.
Hold on. Barack Obama did not sign an executive order about gun control.
No.
It didn't happen. That didn't happen.
No.
So
no,
he signs an executive order.
He came out and spoke out.
She was not at the White House with her brother and her sister when Obama signed his executive order on gun control because he did not sign an executive order on gun control.
She was probably there when he spoke.
Yeah.
On the matter.
That's why people listen to politicians and not celebrities, because celebrities don't know what the fuck they're talking about for the most time.
Well, proof's in the pudding.
Yes.
Well, they can tell a better story.
Right, and it's a lovely story.
Never
It just
forget
didn't happen.
George Clooney's smug cloud.
Just like all Lena Dunham stories.
What?
George Clooney's smug cloud.
Oh, the smug cloud. Yeah.
The cloud of smug that
Yeah.
takes over the town. Do you have increased security at your shows now because of it? Because people are so fucking nuts.
Yes, security is up. I'm really trying to protect myself. I'm not being an idiot.
Because we need you. Really, there's like a lot of people who want to borrow money from you.
I give everyone money. No one ever has to borrow money because I just like give it to them. I'm like, you want this? You can have it.
Can you read that again, but don't say the word money?
I give everyone. No one ever has to borrow because I just like give it to them. I'm like, you want this? You can have it.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Can you read it again but slower? No, I'm kidding.
I give everyone. No one ever asks to borrow because I just like give it to them. I'm like, you want this? You can have it. That's great.
You're like, I have this, and I'm so upset that I have been allowed to have it.
I'm like, it is crazy that I have it, so please take it.
When I was going to, it always starts off with a story. When I was going to the DNC, I was getting interviewed and someone asked, why do you feel confident coming out so hard for a presidential candidate? And I said this thing that I afterward realized was so dumb. I was like, I don't have to be scared because I don't care about starring in a rom-com, so I can say whatever I want. Don't know what that means. And then I realized...
I think she's trying to get work in a rom-com, but
Maybe.
nobody's going to hire.
And then I realized Amy is busting this whole thing wide open because she's starring in marketable movies. Not everyone
Not
who
anymore.
comes to see your movies shares your belief, and they still are fucking showing up to them. Some of them getting shot. And that is you, like, busting open the idea that we all have to toe the line in order to be commercially palatable. You are basically saying it's done.
Well, yes, I hope so. But what I'm also saying is if I make less money, it's okay. I will make less money on this tour than I'm about to go on because I talk about Hillary. I feel like I'm kind of on the campaign trail by myself doing all these shows. I'm just like, yeah, if you're voting for Trump, if you're going about that gun life, you are not going to love the show.
I just want to say one more thing, which is the book is really beautiful and really funny, and it's very exciting that you can buy it in the airport.
I haven't seen it in the airport yet. Maybe I'll see it at the airport tomorrow.
You are going to die when you see it in the airport. It's like the I've made it moment.
At first I was like, I'm going to go buy it in a bookstore when I was in Chicago, and I walked in, and it was like 30% off, and I was like, all right.
This interview has been condensed and edited. Lena Dunham sometimes starts to use a weird cool dude voice when around Amy Schumer in an attempt to impress her. That's the interview. That's how the interview ends. Sometimes I see a book somewhere and it was 30% off, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll buy it.
Why wouldn't you just Amazon it?
Why doesn't she have a free copy of the book that she wrote?
Yeah, why wouldn't she have that? Maybe just to,
I don't.
maybe just
I don't
for that,
think
that fun moment.
The fun moment of going to the store and seeing your book on the shelf and buying it.
Yeah, that's kind. I mean,
Yeah, I get going and looking at it, but there's no need to buy it.
I would probably do that.
Or just go to the bookstore and stand in front of your of the rack of your books.
Huh? See?
Oh, like what's his name from Hogan's Heroes? He'd always go to bars and put on Hogan's Heroes.
And that has been a dramatic reenactment of the Lenny interview between Lena Dunham and Amy Schumer.
So how are her statements of Odell Beckham Jr., who didn't say a word to her?
This has been a Sailor. For more, go to SailorTwift.com.
It's funny because it's libelous.